I saw Donald Lamar on the stand telling all those horrible lies about my mother. And then I saw that night all over again. I saw Mom struggling with Donald. Poor Wade must have thought I was going insane, which might be true.
How did he react?
He was wonderful. He was kind and understanding. And he said that we would work through all of this together.
You are very lucky to have somebody who loves you enough to be patient and understanding while you go through all this.
But why now, Vicki? Why when I'm about to start my new life with Wade and when I'm so happy?
Honey, grief has no timetable. It's going to take a while to get over all this. You can't rush it.
But why does Wade have to go through it?
Well, it's obvious that he loves you a lot. It's not going to be much of a burden to him. In time, you will get over your mother's death. You'll put it all behind you, and then you and Wade will have a life together. You know, since Clint died, there was not a minute that went by that I didn't think of him. And now, even now, I cling to precious memories of him.
I had so little time with her. We were just starting to get to know each other, and then I lost her. It's so unfair.
I know, it is unfair. I was lucky I had a few good years with Clint. I still think it's unfair. But I know that I have to go forward with my life, and you must do the same thing. And I don't want you to be afraid or try and fight the pain and the sorrow. Because I think that's what all that was last night. All those visions and those nightmares. It's a lot of pain that you're going through, honey. And you will get over all that. And you will get on with your life.
Oh, thank you so much, Vicki. I don't think I'm afraid anymore.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi, Dad.
Vicki, do you suppose you could spare a couple of minutes to discuss some business concerning the banner?
Yes, certainly.
Thank you.
But right now, I'm going to leave you two alone because I think you should help each other through a rather difficult time. Is this love sickness very common?
Well, yes, it is. It's a common manifestation of falling in love.
I see. Doctor, you must forgive my ignorance, but you see, I have had very little experience in matters of love. I would appreciate it very much if you would explain to me what it means to be love-sick.
Please forgive me. I didn't expect you to take me seriously.
Oh, no. Please, Doctor, elaborate. I am eager for all kinds of knowledge.
Well, I haven't had much experience myself in matters of love, but it sometimes is accompanied by real physical symptoms.
Such as?
Such as becoming distracted, lightheadedness, flushed cheeks, pale cheeks.
Loss of appetite? Excessive daydreaming? Inability to concentrate?
Yes, Miss Fletcher.
What do you prescribe as a cure?
Well, there is no cure.
Well, then medicine cannot be nearly as advanced as you seem to believe it is.
One way is to pursue the object of one's love. It seems that the symptoms seem to disappear once one has settled down and started having a family.
I see.
Have I said something wrong?
I can pursue the man, Doctor. I cannot give him a family. I am barren.
Whatever gave you that notion?
The last doctor who gave me a physical examination determined that I was barren as a result of having had red-eye fever as a child.
You must have spent your childhood in San Francisco.
Yes, most of it, at any rate. Actually, the very earliest symptoms of the fever occurred while we were still living in St. Louis, but then when we got to San Francisco, the fever became much more severe, and I was near death. My parents sought the advice of a doctor who diagnosed red-eye fever and pulled me through.
You say you first showed symptoms of the illness in St. Louis.
Yes?
Well, then I must tell you that your doctor's diagnosis was wrong.
How could you possibly say that? I was deathly ill.
I understand that, but the epidemic of red-eye fever was indigenous to the San Francisco area. It was written up in the medical journals precisely for that specific idiosyncrasy. So you see, it would have been impossible for you to have caught the disease in St. Louis.
But How could the doctor have been mistaken? He saved my life.
Whatever it was, they must have had similar symptoms, and the doctor presumed you'd lived there all your life.
Are you telling me that I am not barren?
I've examined you thoroughly, Miss Fletcher, and I've found nothing to indicate infertility. You are as fit as Mrs. Vasquez to bear children.
You're looking at a...
Honey, I'm sorry. You're mad at me now, aren't you?
Oh, honey, I'm not mad. It's just that Asa and Renee are getting married May 15th.
Oh, well, I forgot all about that, honey. I'm sorry.
Oh, honey, it's okay. And, I mean, it may not even happen. I mean, Beau's trying to do something about it, but I don't know. Renee's got Asa pretty moonstruck.
Hey, what's the matter? Don't you like Renee either?
I think she's great. I really do. I like her. I don't think people their age should just jump into something like marriage. That's all.
Tina, people, no matter what age they are, if they love each other, why should they wait for something like that?
Honey, it's not just that. I mean, Vicky's just getting over Clint's death, and Max is thinking with Steve and Gabrielle.
So what are we supposed to do, huh? Wait until everybody in the whole world is happy before we set a date for our wedding?
No, of course not.
Tina, what's the matter? Are you having second thoughts about marrying me again?
No. Oh, no, honey, please, don't ever think that, all right?
And what is it, Tina? It seems like every time we try to set down a date, you come up with an excuse. What's going on?
Honey, look, it's just... Oh, you're going to think this is just the silliest thing, but I've always wanted to be a June bride.
That's it? That's all? Well, fine, honey. Then I'll see what I can do about finding a June date. Honey, I love you so much. I can't deny you anything. You should know that by now.
Oh, honey, I love you more than you'll ever know.
Good.
Where are you going?
Well, I'm going to go back to the church because I think I saw a June date that was open. I want to grab it before somebody else does, all right?
Okay.
I love you.
I love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mr. Roberts, Beau Buchanan called and said that he's on his way back here. Couldn't you wait for him?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Reverend.
Okay.
Jenny, I just saw the doctor right off. What is the matter with you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. I am in perfect health. I have never been so healthy in my entire life. May!
What?
I can have babies. Do you know what that means?
Well, it means you can have a baby.
Yes, I can have babies. You see, I have believed for years that I was barren. I thought that I could never give any man a family, and the only person I ever told that to was Clint. And now it has turned out that what I told Clint was not true.
Oh, my goodness, that's a terrible thing to have been carrying around with you your whole life.
Well, yes, it was difficult. It was particularly difficult when the doctor first told me, but I was resigned to it. I didn't like it, but I was resigned to it. But now it is as if a giant cloud has drifted away from over my head and the sun is shining through.
Well, that's good, Jenny, but what about this fainting that happened in here?
Oh, he told me the reason for that.
Well, what's wrong?
I'm lovesick. I'm crazy in love with Clint Buchanan.
Well, if that's all the matter is, why don't you get yourself out there, get that man to marry you, settle down and have a kid, and if that doesn't cure it, nothing's going to cure it. Jenny? What are you waiting here for?
I just realized something. Would you do me a very great favor, please, and don't mention to anyone what I just told you about Dr. West Smith?
You don't want anybody to know that you can have children.
That's right.
But you're going to tell Clint about it because you want him to know that you made a mistake, right?
I don't know that I can.
Jenny, you're in love with him, and you want to marry him, and you want to have his children, and this is news that's going to make him real happy.
I know that. But you... Oh, May, I cannot explain it to you now.
What?
I must think things through before I decide what to do. I must think long and hard because my entire future with Clint could depend on this.
You're absolutely right.
Oh, hell, Clint, I didn't say nothing.
No, I gotta make up my mind. I don't know which way to turn, but I gotta make up my mind.
Well, you know what my advice is.
I think I probably do, yeah. Ginny is right here. I can see her, I can touch her, I can kiss her.
And you can settle down, you can make yourself a fine life with her and be real happy.
So what if I did all that?
Well, you probably make Miss Jenny about one of the happiest women in the whole world.
So we get married and we settle down, we'd be very happy, right?
That'd just about do it, wouldn't it? I mean, I tell you, next to May, Miss Jenny's about the finest woman I've ever seen.
Yeah. What about 2, 3, 5 years down the road? Huh? How can I marry Ginny, knowing that a door could possibly open for me back into the future? Because, you know, I'd go through that door. I would go back to Vicky and the children. What would that do to Ginny? Wouldn't be fair to her, would it? It'd hurt her. I couldn't put that kind of pain on her, Cody.
Well, what about the kind of pain you would put on her if you just pulled up stakes and walked out of town right now?
I have asked myself that same thing. I've thought about that. But I can't forget Vicky. I don't want to forget Vicky.
Well, that's right, Clint. You will probably never forget Vicky. But you know, my pa used to have a saying. You got 2 chances of finding your wife again. Slim and none. Clint, you told me yourself, it's real likely that you're not even going to get back home.
Slim or not, it's still a chance.
Clint, isn't it just as unfair to both you and Miss Jenny if you give up on all this happiness just because there might be a chance? Is it fair to her to be this spinster her whole life just because you don't want to be happy with her because there might be a chance you might go home? No, it's not.
Don't you think I haven't asked myself all those same questions?
Clint, you know what my pa used to say? He used to tell me...
Cody, damn it! I am sick and tired of hearing what your pa used to say.
You know, you can change your life. It just takes a dream.
Muffins are all done. Boy, do they smell good. I think I'll run this out to Cody and tell him about my clean bill of health and give him one of these muffins. Jenny?
Did you say something, May?
I'm going to be outside, okay?
Yes, fine. Oh, please remember not to mention to anyone what I told you that Dr. Weston-Smith told me.
I won't.
Thank you. Who was Clear Eyes?
He was an Indian I met out in the desert that first time I was trying to get back home. He told me that the door to the future would remain closed to me until I came back to Buchanan City and taught you all about love. I thought he meant that you and Randolph Lord were supposed to get back together again.
Is that why you persisted in trying to keep me from leaving this town?
Yes. In fact, you remember that time that your stagecoach had to return to town because it was having trouble with one of the wheels?
Certainly. It was wobbling horribly. The driver said a wheel nut had come off.
Well, it didn't just come off. I took it off. I took it off just before the stagecoach left town. In fact, I still have it. I kept it as a souvenir.
You were certainly determined to see to it that I fulfilled my destiny.
Yeah, except I don't know what that destiny is anymore. If you really are Baron, and you weren't meant to establish Vicky's line with Randolph Lord, then maybe Clear Eyes was wrong.
If Clint finds out that I am not barren, that I can indeed have children, I'm sure he will believe that I belong with Randolph Lord. And he will do everything in his power to see to it that Randolph and I are reunited. And that would be the end of any hope I might have for a future with Clint.
Well, I must say, I'm very pleased to see you and Vicky are still close. You can trust any advice she might give you.
Yes. She tells me what she thinks and then lets me make my own decision.
It was nice, isn't it? You know, sweetheart, since we're both suffering this terrible loss, I guess we need each other more now than we have in quite some time.
Dad, I hate to see you go through this pain.
Well, I said, sweetheart, I'm still your dad, and I love you very much. And I want you to know that the door is always open in case you feel you need to come home. Oh, honey, I wish you felt you could talk to me about your problems, but... Well, I'm very glad you can talk to Vicky.
She's suffering the loss of her own right now.
Yeah, no. Terrible, isn't it? I feel so sorry for her. You know, she's in a little trouble about something. Are you having a problem with Wade or anything like that?
Dad, please.
Well, I'm sorry, honey. It's just that, well, I get the feeling that perhaps you and Wade were a bit hasty in deciding to live together. Now, if a problem has arisen, then maybe we can solve it together.
Dad, my pain has nothing to do with Wade.
Huh?
In fact, if it weren't for the kindness and love he's shown me, I probably would feel worse.
Well, is there anything at all I can do to help?
Thank you, but I wish you could. But this is something I have to do for myself. Thanks. So, is Renee drugging Asa?
I don't know yet.
What, I've been sitting here going crazy for nothing?
Listen, the lab technician promised me that he would call me right here. He said it wouldn't take that much time. He also said that vitamin had a very odd odor about it. So what was Cord's big surprise?
He wanted us to get married in May, but luckily I talked him out of it, and now we're going to get married in June.
Well, you just keep your fingers crossed that those lab tests come back the way I suspect.
And if they don't?
Why wouldn't they? Tina, that's the only explanation into the way that Ace has been acting lately. And once I know that Renee's been drugging Ace, all I have to do is prove it to him before May 15th.
It's not going to be easy. I'm sure she's got herself well covered.
Well, she's going to find out who she's dealing with if she wants to tangle with me.
Well, Bo, you've got all the help from me that you need. I mean it. I mean, my whole future's at stake here. If Asa cuts Cord out of the will, then Clint won't get anything. And I can't have that happen to my family.
Oh, you mean you can't have that happen to you?
You don't have a very high opinion of me, do you, Bo?
As high an opinion as I have of anyone. I'm just being very realistic right now.
Well, have you know, I love Cord, and I want to marry him more than anything on earth. I just don't want us to stop.
Phone call for you, Mr. Buchanan.
Thank you. This is it.
Robert, could you hurry with that?
Tina, we're very close now. We don't want to blow it.
Yeah.
Ann Robbins is about to get a visit from an old friend.
I miss you so much. And I love you so much. I can't even begin to tell you how horrible it's been with you gone. Wade's been very kind and understanding. And so is Dad. But I can't seem to talk to him. Every time I look at him, I think about what I did. And how if it weren't for me that you two would be together today. Wade keeps telling me that that's foolish. And that it was an accident. But Mom, I feel so guilty about it. I keep reliving it over and over again. I know you're at peace now. But please, please help me get over this guilt. Let me remember you for all the wonderful things you did for me. Don't let me remember that horrible night. I can't bear to relive it over and over again. I love you. Please take put those bad memories away.
Yes, thank you, Jack. Thank you for getting back to me so fast. Believe me, I appreciate this, buddy. I won't forget it. Tina, you did it. You are the hero of the hour.
So is it a drug?
It's Denaride. It's an experimental drug. And it has side effects. It kills brain cells.
Oh, my goodness. You know, I can't believe it.
I can't believe the gall of this woman.
But I don't know. It's so unbelievable that Renee or anybody would want to do this to Asa.
You know, well, it just shows the lengths that some people will go to out of greed.
Boy. And Asa has no idea that this is happening to him.
This lab technician says that this drug is capable of inducing symptoms of premature senility.
That's exactly what's happening to Asa.
Right, and the beauty of this drug, this is the way that the lab technician explained it, is that it's water-soluble, it's slow-acting, and it makes it practically impossible to detect unless you know exactly what you're looking for.
Wow. So what are we waiting for?
What do you mean?
Well, I think we should just march up to Asa and show him what a lowlife Renee is.
And then what?
What do you mean, then what? Then he'll forgive us. I mean, he'll beg our forgiveness, and we'll be one big happy family, and he will put us back in the will.
Tina, do you really think for 1 minute that Renee is going to sit back and allow herself to be caught?
We've got proof.
Proof of what? Now, you say this cosmetic bag of Renee's is full of those vials?
Dozens of them.
That means that she's probably giving Asa a dose right now. Now, if we confront him with that vial, he's just going to claim that we planted the thing. And then he's going to be even more against us, and this Renee, she's going to come out smelling like a rose.
You mean we did all this for nothing?
No! No, don't you see? Now we know that it's Renee that's drugging Asa. So all I have to do is catch her in the act. And then Asa's going to be forced to throw her out, and he's going to rewrite his will.
But Asa is planning on marrying Renee in 3 weeks.
That's exactly right, Tina, which means we have to move fast, because if Asa and Renee get married, there is no way that we're going to be able to get to her.
Hello there, young lady.
Hello, Clint.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm helping May out.
Shouldn't you be taking it easy?
Why on earth would you say that?
Well, I found out from May that you were feeling kind of puny, and the new doctor gave you an examination.
What else did May tell you?
Nothing. I asked her what his diagnosis was, and she just giggled like she'd had too much sun.
Well, then, I can assure you that there is absolutely nothing to worry about. I am in perfect health.
You don't seem yourself.
Oh, how do I seem?
I don't know. You keeping something from me?
Yes! I'm in love!